All right. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. We will call our June 4th regular meeting to order. If everyone would please rise and join us in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The land acknowledgement by Director Larissa.
We honor and respect that we gather on the ancestral lands of the Stillaguamish people and the Snohomish people and their successors, the Tulalip tribe. This is the land where they have lived since time immemorial. They are still here today, where they work, raise their children, and care for their community. They continue to practice their traditions and speak the Lushootseed language, just as their ancestors did. May each of our children find their place and contribute to their communities and families. Together, we will make this a better world for our children.
Thank you. And with that, we'll move into the approval of regular meeting agenda. An action item.
I make a motion to approve the regular board meeting agenda.
I second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is unanimously passed. Thank you. And I do want to recognize that for this evening's meeting, both Directors Gotts and Director Kruger are excused, as well as a student advisor who apparently is, okay, Escalante. And this meeting is also being recorded and will be available for viewing at a later date online on the school district website for the public. Recognition of guest, with request to be heard and public comment. We appreciate community members' willingness to share public comments with the board. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of involving members in the public in its meetings. In order to permit fair and orderly expression of such comment, the board will provide a period at the beginning of the meeting during which visitors present to the board. The time allowed is 3 minutes. The board respectfully requests that comments be relevant, appropriate, and not be personally directed. Do we have anyone signed up to provide in-person public comment? To limit disruption and aid in a timely public comment portion of the meeting, we require virtual attendees who wish to make a public comment to pre-register online prior to the board meeting. Complete the online form found on the school board page of the district's website by 3 p.m. on the meeting date. Has anyone registered for public comments online? No. All right. Go. Have recognition of Saya Barber.
No way you can. I just want to take this moment to thank you so much. I know we had the opportunity to visit this morning, but Saya, you've done just a truly tremendous job as a student leader, and I would say as a leader in our community. Your attendance at our meetings, whether they be study sessions, joint meetings, board meetings, you have outstanding attendance. You are always prepared and thoughtful. You're always taking notes. I'm watching you and you're taking notes of your thoughts and what people are sharing. But you lead with heart and with thought, and you were always, thinking about what's the impact not only our students, but to the families and to the staff. And you have a unique perspective, I think, especially as a student who is in high school, to see all, sides of an issue and to truly look at what would be that best path forward. And I know as an individual, you have just a real passion for ensuring that students belong. And I know your work as ASB president, as student advisor, whether it's drum major, whether it is, your facilitator, recruiter cabinet, you work to connect with all students and make sure their perspectives came to light. But you also work to make sure that everybody feels like they are connected, right? And so that is that kind of two-way lens of compassion and connection, which I think really sets you apart. You're not about doing it because of, I think, the opportunities that it gains you. You're about creating the opportunities for others. So I am so excited for our world, honestly, but I know that you will be launching to University of Washington. And as I said, I am a Coug, but I'm excited for you. And I will say nothing but nice things to you about it. But I am just so happy for you and so excited for all that you're gonna accomplish, and you will be dearly missed. So just know that you always have a home here, we will always be thinking of you. And you've done a tremendous job and will continue to do so. So, thank you.
And we'll have an opportunity here to also thank you for your service. It's been great to get to know you better over the past 2 years, and I appreciate all of the insights that you've brought to the board. It's been really great to get to hear some different perspectives, and especially like in the last couple of years of being able to reach out to all the students and engage with the different schools and hear the voices of others that you've been able to bring forward to the board. When you've gone out and represented the district, I know you've had opportunities to meet with state legislators that have come and you've showed them on tours, and you represented both the school and the different opportunities that exist very, very well. And I just am so in awe of what you've been able to do in these past few years. And as Dr. Murphy just said, you're going off to college and what the world awaits, and I'm very excited for what your future holds. Thank you for all your service to the district. It's gonna miss having you around. So, and I appreciate all you've done. Thank you.
Ditto. I'm gonna, yeah, you guys covered it really well.
We love you. All right. Thank you, Saya. Thank you. All right. Next, we have staff status. To expedite business at a school board meeting, the board approves the use of consent agenda, which includes those items to be routine in nature. Documentation concerning these items has been provided to all board members and the public in advance to assure an extensive and thorough review. Items may be removed from consent agenda at the request of any board member. This is an action item.
I make a motion for approval of the June 4th, 2025 staff status as presented,
For the whole consent agenda.
or sorry. Don't forget that, yeah.
I second.
All right, any additional comments? All in favor, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passed. Thank you. Now we have student advisory report. Bye.
Okay, Lydia's not here, but I have her report also, so I'll start with LES. We had a literacy night. For families to come and celebrate their final writing celebration and literacy night. And families got to go to the classrooms and see the students writing, and come to the gym where they could look there and done different activities. And then the night had a camping theme, and the students engaged in reading intense and got creative with a variety of literacy related crafts and like activities and stuff like that. And Star Libraries was there to share the information about different summer activities that they have available to families and stuff like that. And they finished up their SBA testing for their 3rd and 5th graders. And they celebrated their Cougars of the Month, which they got like with hats and cotton candy. And that was thanks to and then 5th grade went to camp, and the students had a lot of fun, that they conquered their fear of the zip line and the catwalk and stuff like that, and super fun for them. Okay. Now for ECE, they had a Pacific Science Center signups on the wheel program. Spend the day after school, and there was an old school assembly focusing on space, followed by 45-minute hands-on workshops in classrooms, and the day was part of a part of their annual science fair, and students were invited to prepare displays for the science fair this year, and there's about 25 this year. And was it yesterday or Monday? The 3rd graders had their Night of the Living Wax Museum, and each student did their research on a famous person and created their display. And it was a pretty big hit for the students and families. Okay. And for the high school, we had board meeting last week, so there isn't really that much, I feel like, but there was prom, it was under the sea, and it was really good. Like the venue was really nice, and all the decorations, and kudos to the leadership class. And then, I'm just wrapping up the. But yes, it was, I think it was yesterday or today. Just a choir concert tomorrow. But that's 7 p.m. and they're honoring 8 seniors. And then for band, they pick their drum majors for next year. It's gonna be Christina Malgeson, Kate Malgeson, and Kylie Bildergold, and yeah, just graduation stuff. That's pretty much it.
Lots of activities wrapping up the end of the year, right? Graduation and next week. 1 week of school left, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Then we have superintendent report, Dr. Murphy.
All right, so I think as I said, so since we met last week, I was looking at kind of what happened between these 2 points, and still there was enough to fill, so there you go. And we kicking off, we had our last Cougar Cabinet last week. And so just some of the key pictures, we started out with a fun relay race game. Our high school team won for the second year running, so they are very adept at I think there's a lot of balance and everybody's following the rules too, so that was great, that was a lot of fun. And then at our last Cougar Cabinet of the year, it's where we actually asked the teams to think about what have you accomplished this year, like what are the things that you're most proud of that you've been able to do by virtue of Cougar Cabinet. So they put together kind of a short list, and then they, Mr. Touchant takes them into the recording studio where our, Mr. Brown, Ryan Brown from Link, they record. And so I don't know that it's quite up on the website yet, but there's actually a podcast for each one of them that kind of highlights everything that they've achieved during the year. So, and then we do kind of a recap at the end. And so you see the last picture of our 3 high school facilitators as for this year, Riley, Amelia, and Saya, as they prepared to do their kind of season, really, I'd say season wrap up. It was probably session wrap up, but also the season wrap up. So that was Cougar Cabinet for last week. Over the weekend, there was a Touch a Truck event here on Saturday. Unfortunately, it was like the one part of the weekend, right, that was not as weather cooperative as, Sunday was. But we still had a number of folks came out, and so I think we still think, whether it's 200 or 300, there was still a great turnout. So this was sponsored by Snohomish County Sheriff's Department, but we were like a partner in the event. We provided the space. And then also you'll see some of our staff there. So it was a Touch a Truck. So they had a kids copter, they had an armored truck, they had marine vehicles. But we also had things like we had in one of our buses. And so kids could go up on the bus and they could honk the horn. And actually it's very cute. Renee's grandson got to walk down the aisle. It's a very cute little perspective of a short one in a big bus. So that was great. And then kudos to our staff. So we had Christina and Mark were there representing the district. So Mark was talking about kind of the role of SAP and making sure people understood how they could safely dispose of any like prescriptions in their home and different information. Christina was sharing all information about Lakewood as well as providing kindergarten registrations. That was great. So talking to the public and so that was helpful. And then Lynn and Marissa were there representing the Lakewood Education Foundation and able to kind of share about the good work and that occurs to that group. So again, the rain did not keep people away, but we were thankful that some folks had canopies and awnings and we were able to be under those. So that was helpful. And then just wanted to highlight, we had state track send off last week. So we had athletes, we had 5 athletes who were in the state championship from Thursday to through Saturday. And so kind of capturing that extra wonderful tradition that our high school does anytime there are state qualifiers and they're heading out. And then Saya, of course, is being very gracious. After our board meeting last week, she had to leave early because there was a band concert during which in Limbo, which is our booster organization for music, awarded 2 scholarships. And one to Katie Krieger and one to Saya Barber for heading into as they head off to school. So huge recognition for a lot of hard work and dedication. As we finish up, it is June. It is every day is packed full of activities and events. And so we are kind of marching quickly. How many days till graduation?
Well, counting, it was like 7, but like counting tomorrow, then it's 7.
Okay, so Saya can do like a countdown like in the morning. She'll kind of tell you how many school days, but then we talk about wake up. So we are close. So Friday the 13th, we're all aware of that correspondence, is graduation. But thus far, I think we are on path for everything. And so we'll also be having our, graduation parade or Roots to Wings walk on the morning of that day too. So we have, in terms of June's observances, we have Father's Day and Juneteenth, which is a non-school day. June is LGBTQI plus Pride and Caribbean American Heritage Month.
Thank you. Next item, we'll move into our new business is a student advisor to the board nomination, Dr. Murphy.
Right. Well, I'm so excited to be here with Ruby this evening, and as we prepare to send Saya off and she launches in her college, we're excited to welcome Ruby to the board and to the student advisory seat. So Ruby is a current sophomore here at Lakewood High School, and I just wanted to share, we had the opportunity, so I know President Taco as well as Vice President Krieger had the opportunity to be a part of that selection process, and we were all just very impressed by you and your leadership and are excited to have you join in this role. So it's my pleasure to recommend Ruby Carmona Rodriguez to serve as student advisor to the school board for the next 2 school years. On May 15th, 2025, a committee consisting of Board President Taco, Board Vice President Nina Krieger, myself, Melanie Irish, and Principal Jeanette Gershom interviewed 3 applicants for the position. After deliberation and discussion, our group consensus is that Ruby would be a perfect match for this role. So I would recommend Ruby for selection for the next student advisor to the.
Any questions? No? Okay. This is an action item.
I make a motion to approve, student advisor to the board nomination, Ruby Rodriguez.
A second. All right. Additional comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay.
Congratulations, my friend.
All right. Ruby, I just wanted to comment too. It was great to hear when in your interview, the amount of engagement that you have with different volunteer organizations and wanting to really capture student voice through different clubs, unified sports, and different activities in which you're engaged. And I really look forward to what you'll be able to bring to the board. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations.
Can we do a picture with Ruby real quick? Come on.
I just kind of small.
I think you got your-
Sorry, I'm like not dressed very well. I'm not hiding that.
You can be in the middle. Oh. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right, here we go. Right, congratulations.
All right. Sure. Okay, next we have resolution number 0325, WIAA.
And I'm clearly not Amy Hendry. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm presenting on her behalf. Good evening, everyone. So this evening submitted for your approval is the annual WIAA membership approval for both Lakewood High School and Lakewood Middle School for the upcoming academic year. This action is essential to ensure that our students' continued participation in interscholastic activities, or athletics and activities under the governance of WIAA. As you know, the WIAA serves as the official regulatory body overseeing interscholastic sports and activities for secondary schools across Washington state, and is a prereq for schools wishing to engage in sanctioned competitions and events. To maintain active membership, each school board must annually delegate authority to WIAA by submitting a signed resolution, which you have before you, by the second Friday in June.
Thank you. Are there any questions regarding the resolution?
I do have a question.
Okay.
Just because I don't know if I'm grasping it totally, but basically, does this give? Do they just have full authority over every district, and if they're making decisions that individual districts don't agree with? Like, I feel like you not have a choice, you have to do this or you don't get sports.
It's volunteer or volunteering, however, you can't compete. so we cannot compete in the league if we did not. The board did not approve this resolution.
Okay, and so if there's different issues that different districts don't agree with, how do you do that? Do you go to the WIA and talk with them, or is it just they've made the decisions and you're out of luck?
I mean, I know that some districts have, had some challenges with, some of the issues with WIAA, and to my knowledge, all school boards, public schools in the state of Washington have approved and are continuing to operate in tandem with WIAA under the membership. So in regards to challenging, I don't have a definitive answer for you.
Maybe not
Can I-
challenging, I
can
guess
I
that's not the
add
right
in
word,
some?
yeah.
So I know that when we go to the WISA conference, there are WIAA representatives. So I think that, I believe that they're regional or they're kind of related to different districts. So I think that there are similarly that there's like those committees, right? So I think that on the WISA website, there are WIAA representatives that individual directors could reach out and say, hey, I wanted to share this piece of feedback. And so I think that there's representative leadership in that capacity. I'm not sure how those leaders directly interact with the WIAA board, but I do know that I know that is like a committee and that there are directors across the state who are WASDA members who serve in that capacity. So I think that from a director standpoint, I think that's probably the most direct linkage.
And then this is just an assumption on my part, but I'm assuming like, do all the athletic directors like get together and meet with them also? Is what I would assume, but yeah. Okay, I just wasn't
Like
sure
a few months ago, they voted on their amendments and they did a whole
with
thing.
all the athletic
Yeah.
directors.
It's more of a, think of it as like representative leadership though. So I think within your district and league, the directors come together. So Amy will get together with other directors and then they will potentially vote on something. And then they have a leader of their group who then takes that vote and moves that vote forward and then we'll vote. So it definitely is that representative leadership, like you're kind of collectively creating your vote and you're moving it on. So they have that, and through WIA, there's also kind of at the high school level in particular, there's, those coordination generally of not only the athletic directors, that usually there's kind of a league principals meeting. Not all leagues do it, but
Okay,
a lot of leagues do. And so there'll be kind of quarterly principal meetings where they'll get together because it creates just, no different than Interhigh for ASB. It
Yeah.
creates opportunities for kind of that cross pollination of ideas.
thank you, I just wasn't sure.
Thank you, Superintendent Murphy.
Any additional questions? With that, this is then an action item.
I make a motion to, where is it? Yeah, I lost it.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
You
I
got
make a
it.
motion to approve resolution number 0325 WIAA.
I'll second. Are there any additional comments before we move to a vote?
There is actually, so this is really, I don't know, like, morally tough for me, due to the changing of the winds politically, of course. But also, I mean, federal government has passed resolutions and now the state government is breaking federal law, which is not good. And which entails the IAA is doing that now. And yeah, and also I do believe that the boys should stay out of girl sports and, for their safety and for all the other reasons everybody talks about. I can't think of them right now. So, yeah, that's what I have. So.
I will say, I'll just touch on that a little bit, that I think there was 5 school districts, 5 states. Just in the track state meets this weekend that, in girls track, that biological males won. And so I know I keep hearing it's not very many, but I was like, that's kind of a lot, for like 5 won.
Yeah.
Not to mention how many others competed. But I also think if we vote no, do we lose all sports? That's where I'm stuck.
So can I make a motion to table this till the board is here, since there are 2 missing?
I think that we have to, this has to be approved by, they have to be
Second
submitted by
Friday
the
in
second
June.
Friday in June, which is next Friday.
Next Friday. Can we make a special board meeting for that? Because I think I have a feeling that we wouldn't pass it, and I also don't want the kids to miss out on their competitions.
Well, I don't, we would have to see if we could get a board meeting in which we could have all the board members. I know there's some things that are occurring. I don't want to speak to, yes, we can get a meeting if we don't know that the other two would be able to arrive. We could look to table it, but again, if we do, then we might miss out on a year of sports for our students.
And how many days notice do we have to publicly?
It's 24-hour notice for a meeting. So we could look to try and get a special meeting scheduled and see if we can coordinate one and the timing between now and then, but I also know that next week's also graduation week, and so there's quite a few activities that are gonna be coming up and occurring. We can see what we can do. If we feel as though we are not going to be able to move forward for a motion.
I just think we should have everybody here for something that seems so controversial.
I know that, I don't know Sandy's schedule. I don't, I know that I believe she's out of town. Because I think she comes back the day of graduation, if I remember right. And so I think she's hoping that she's really gonna be able to attend, right? I mean, she's planning to, but, and then, for Dana personally, there's a lot going on right now. And so I'm not sure, I can't speak for her availability. So I don't know between now and then that would, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. So,
And so what happens if we move to table it and then we find out we can't get a board meeting? Are we just out of luck? I don't know the.
well, I think there needs to be, we are required to submit it. So per the, guidelines for us to indicate that how we want to participate in interscholastic activities, we need to submit that by that date. I don't know if there's, my guess is this is part of their bylaws, and so I don't know that there is, I don't know if there's a gap in that type of a piece. I know that, and so I know the board will make the decision that, so we can always look at it, but I can't speak to the availability of other board members. I do know that, I know this is a challenging decision too. And so, and as I shared this evening, I respect everybody's right to make their own decision, obviously. I do know that, I do know that there have been other boards recently who also have concerns as well, but also have kind of looked at that through the lens of the access to athletics for kids. So.
If we were to table it, we could look for another date and see if we could get another board member or two that can live for that conversation. But if that is something that the board feels that we should try and move forward with, it is a difficult topic, and right now there are, we're kind of in between with our state laws and the federal laws, and it's not gonna be decided on a local level. And for what way to move, it's gonna be above, above something that we would make. And so that is kind of where we're right now operating under where we're at with needing to maintain, like we do have requirements for state laws as well. And so it is kind of that balance and figuring out what the best move forward is. But we could look to try and see if we could get a special meeting, and we could meet potentially by Zoom if need be, correct?
Yep. So that was what I meant though, not about WIA, but about us. If we table it and then find out we can't do a board meeting, do we have another option, or does that just mean we haven't signed it?
We haven't signed it.
Can we ask Saya her opinion?
I mean, I'm just thinking about I feel like it's like you're kind of like, I'm just really between taking away the opportunity for everyone to do sports, because it's a kind of a way for students to make friends, make a community, and make a family in a way, and it's just and I know it feels wrong too, as in kind of excluding trans athletes, but I'm just, yeah, it's kind of hard, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a difficult topic and conversation. With that, we did have a motion from the floor then to table this. So do we,
I think we if we could review, I think we had a motion to.
we had a motion to approve?
And second, and I think we had a question about tabling.
Yes, there was a question about. it.
Okay, question about it.
Exactly.
But that was before you seconded it, right?
Oh, no.
No, we have to, before we have
Gotcha.
this conversation, we have
Okay.
to second it.
Gotcha,
Yes.
okay.
So right now, we're in discussion, so like
Okay.
technically. So there would need to be a move to table and to second until another meeting, at which point we would come back into it. And if there wasn't one, then it could be additional discussion or there could be a vote.
Well, I'll move to table and then we can see if we can.
And I'll second that.
Okay. So we've got a move to table by Director Taylor, a second by Director Larson. All in favor of moving to table?
I,
Aye. Okay. All opposed, nay? With that, we will table this and we will determine a board meeting between now and next Friday in order to determine where this goes. All right, thank
Thank you.
you. Next, we have food service management company contract extending the Chartwells.
Yes, what is in front of you is the contract renewal, year 5 of 5. So next year we will be going back out to bid for our food service contract. This is to use Chartwells, so our, mainly our food service supervisor, Wes Newman, he does all of the purchasing, ordering, making sure that we're doing things correctly, and then operationally, for the most part, within the building, to making sure that we're getting the right, food in the right places, designing the menus, all of those type of items, making sure that we're following proper protocol in relation to what needs to be served as well as the food options. Within the contract, you'll see that there was an increase based on CPI for the last year. And that is pretty standard for food service management companies. It's not more, it's not less, it's just at that flat rate with what the new rates will be. Any questions?
Questions regarding the food service contract? Chartwells? Okay. This one is an action item.
all right, I make a motion to approve the food service management company contract for Chartwells.
I'll second.
Any additional comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Passed, thank you.
Thank you.
Out of endorsement, assignment Tim Heaton.
Part 2, for your consideration this evening is the approval of certificated staff assigned to teach outside of their current endorsement. And as you see before you, those are the 2 folks who are working out of their endorsement currently.
Thank you. Any questions regarding this? All right,
I'll move for, or I'll motion for the approval of certificated teachers working out of endorsement as presented.
I second.
all right, additional comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion is unanimous. Thank you. All right, next we have revised board policy 2004, performance improvement goals, second reading.
This is the second reading of the revised policy 2004 performance improvement goals. There have been no changes since last week when I did the first reading. Are there any further questions on the policy? I just want to note that we'll be developing that structure for fulfilling the policy when we'll set our goals, when we report our goals forward as we go through next.
Any questions regarding this? I think this one's an action item.
I make a motion to approve revised board policy 2004 performance improvement goals.
I'll second.
Any additional comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion is passed. Thank you. Revised board policy 2195, academic acceleration, first reading.
As you said, is first reading of policy 2195, last reviewed in Lakewood in 2018. The The spirit of the policy has not changed. Some of the details around the policy have changed. In essence, the policy asks that we will enroll students in advanced courses if they pass the SBA. Or at least that was the old policy. The new policy includes now the SBA for, as well as the WACAS science. Also includes any students that pass, new language, met or exceeded standard. That's part of the change in 8th grade as well. And also, as always, but now in policy, allowed families to opt out as long as it meets with their high school graduation plan. So it's not it is a will. We will enroll students in those courses. It's not a must. However, we do our best to meet the needs of every student and decide the classes they take. Having this policy allows us to ensure that those students have that.
Any questions regarding this first reading?
I have a quick question, like, on the thing, is this like IT, but then do we actually,
IP,
I,
IB, no, we don't.
it's just like a cross.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ways. Sometimes when we get a policy from us is that parts don't apply for us, we can take them out and just apply it for us, but they didn't because you never know, and then we have to go back and you guys do that. I don't have any plans for IB right now. I don't think we have the capacity yet, but you know, we'll probably could 10,000 students. So.
Stop talking.
Any other questions regarding that first reading? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Revised board policy 2460, use of school facilities, out by 9.
Good evening. So this is the second reading for policy 4260. There's been no changes to this policy. This policy covers facilities use and updates to the fee schedule. It's my recommendation we approve this.
Any questions? Okay, that was an action item.
I make a motion to approve revised board policy 4260, use of school facilities.
I second. Any additional comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. As passed, thank you. With that, we'll move into our board reports, Director Taylor.
Let's see, just had a meeting, I got to attend a little bit of the middle school track prelims on Monday, got to see one of our students break the school shot put record by like over a foot. It was a big deal, yeah, it was really fun. So I was just there for a small amount of time. Spring football, we started that on Monday, our freshmen get to join us next week, so we're excited about that, because they can't do that while middle school sports are still going on. And I'm just gonna say, I talked to Alex a little bit earlier today, but the new lights in the locker room under the stadium. I had 2 students bleeding today and you could find the blood trail. Like, it was not a dark dungeon, it's bright. It makes such a world of difference down there. So they're doing a great job on the lighting down there. So I'm super appreciative, I will say that.
Director Larson?
Nothing too exciting. We'll keep went to the thing yesterday for the retirees and told Brian, thank you for the 10 years of his service here. So that's what I did.
You're welcome. It's a mutual partnership.
Well, thank you. I was right before coming here at the Living Wax Museum that was put on by the 3rd graders at UCE. That was a really fun thing. It was the second time they've done it. And the 3rd graders find a historical or current figure in which they get to do a report on, and then They come and dress up and they have a little button next to a poster that they made and their research and doing a report on it. And when you press the button, their wax museum individual comes to life and they give you a report on who that individual is. So we have quite a few different individuals in there. I saw Jane Goodall, Einstein, Walt Disney. My son was Henry Ford. We had, I think, 4 Simone Biles. There's, it was really fun to see though. Eleanor Roosevelt, I saw too. Yeah. It was fun. I did not get to see all of it, but the kids also really enjoyed it. So that was just a really cool way to showcase what students do. And on the lighting project, I did want to say, it seems like that went very quickly once we were able to get it done. So thank you.
Very compressed timeline, yeah.
Yes. All right. With that, our next regular board meeting is June 18th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We will confirm a special board meeting between now and then, date and time to be announced. And with that, we will go ahead and close the regular meeting. Thank you, everyone. Look at that.